We continued on our way, but soon a nearly vertical cliff face blocked our path. Just as I was wondering how we'd ever climb it, a rope was lowered from the top. We used the rope to pull ourselves up, but midway my foot slipped. A loose rock tumbled down, grazing the top of my father's head. Instead of blaming me, my father just looked up and told me to be careful. Exhausted, I finally reached the summit, only to find that the one who threw the rope was a boy named Hua. Looking at the treacherous cliff, my father told him not to come back here anymore.
But Hua replied, "My grandfather says this is my job." Grandpa said, "You fell down the mountain for us once before. We can't let you fall for our sake a second time."
Your grandfather is getting senile. Tell him this. From now on, it's my son who will be taking this route. There's no need for you to wait here anymore.
It's my job. Because you fell once for our sake. We can't let your son fall for us either.
I finally realized that my father's silence was a form of protection. Never spoke of those life-threatening dangers at home, simply to keep us from worrying. I struck up a conversation with Hua. This boy also harbored a dream, one hemmed in by these mountains. The treacherous paths had forced him to drop out of school, but he never stopped studying, dreaming of studying journalism through a correspondence course and becoming a reporter. He wanted to tell the stories of the mountains to the outside world. After Hua left, I pressed my father about his fall down the mountain. It turned out he'd been unconscious for a day and a night. The whole village lit torches to search the mountain before they finally rescued him. Finally understood the hardships he endured just then. Hua's voice echoed through the mountains.
Hey! Brother! Grandpa, I'm here. I got my grades out of 3 subjects. I got 2 excellents and 1 good. My teacher even recommended my essay to a newspaper. The teacher was going to refund my tuition, but then said he'd support me until I graduate. He also told me to practice interviewing next time you visit. I'll interview you.
Spin. It's a deal.
Go on home now.
Hua's good news made me genuinely happy for him, but a flicker of loneliness crossed my father's face, because for him, there would be no next time. After that, we both fell into a long silence, lost in our own thoughts until a mountain song drifted over. Only then did my father speak up, asking if I had feelings for that Dong girl. But my thoughts were more practical, I told him. I wouldn't marry a girl from the mountains, because I didn't want another girl to repeat my mother's fate, leaving her home, only to spend her whole life homesick, watching a local girl pass by humming a tune without a care in the world. Neither of us could find the words to speak. After the silence, I suddenly remembered that old question.
When I was little, Mom would tell me about the mountains, and I'd ask her, why do mountain people live in the mountains?
What did your mother say?
She said, mountain people live in the mountains, just like feet tucked inside shoes.
Comfortable to father, entering the mountains meant walking a post road for a lifetime. To Mom, following father out of the mountains was also its own kind of lifelong post road. At that moment, I finally understood the hardships they both endured. I realized that the heart can grow more weary than the legs. This only deepened my resolve to take over from my father and keep walking this post road. As we went on, father's leg pain worsened, leaving him with a heavy limp. At the last village, I told him to rest here and that I would handle the final deliveries alone. While I was sorting through the mail, a sudden gust of wind sent several letters flying. I only had time to grab the rest of the mailbag, but in that moment, my aging father forgot all his pain. Just like his younger self, he leapt up and ran, chasing the scattered letters with Lao Air with surprising agility. This was how he and Lao Air had always been on this route, running across the mountains together. This time they recovered more than just letters. They briefly reclaimed the years of their youth. That night we stayed at a villager's house. While soaking our feet, we shared a heart-to-heart conversation. I asked again, for generations these people have lived in the mountains, surrounded by nothing but peaks. But father told me, one must have hope that when you have something to live for, you have everything.
Without that sense of purpose, life loses its flavor, no matter how good it is. Just like this postal route of ours. It's a hard life, to be sure, but after doing it for so long, you grow attached to the people and the stories along the way. That's when the work feels worthwhile.
After soaking our feet, I began sorting the mail. We will be back home by this time tomorrow. We began a special kind of handover. But I wasn't briefing him on the mountain trails anymore. I was briefing him on the domestic life he was about to face. I gave him careful instructions. When you're back, visit the neighbors who helped our family. The village chief has his quirks, but he does help the village prosper. After all, everyone relies on him to allocate fertilizer and seeds. The crops can't wait even a day. From farm chores to mother's health, I covered every detail. Father listened in silence, as if lost in a trance as time drifted back. Isn't this exactly how my father looked, fretting over me before I left? In just 3 days, the mailbag seemed to have completed a silent handover. Father gazed at my sleeping face for a long time. Then, at the mailbag that had been his companion for most of his life, an unprecedented sense of peace and fulfillment filled his heart. He had just lain down when I turned over in my sleep and snuggled into his arms. We had never been close yet in our sleep. We shared our first embrace, and at this moment a single unconscious gesture completely dissolved all the barriers between us. Father and son fell asleep with smiles, looking forward to the journey home tomorrow. After a day's rest at home, it was another early morning. I rose early, skillfully shouldered the mailbag and prepared to set out alone. Lao followed behind while father stood still, like a silent mountain, watching his younger self walk into the distance. Seeing father standing still, Lao ran a few steps and then turned back. Father watched my silhouette in silence. Only as I was about to vanish at the end of the path did he bend down. With all his might, he nudged Lao forward, sending us off to cross mountains, bridges, and rivers. And at this moment, the mountain folk are waiting for that man and that dog to bring hope and news from afar. In turn, he carries their aspirations back to the world beyond. Peak upon peak, beyond the 4 seasons, there are hearths and homes. Soul to soul beyond the goodbyes, there are the enduring bonds of care.